take on the USA, represented by the University of Louisville, as we get set for day 3 at Global Jams. There have been a couple of days worth of games, a day off yesterday to refresh and recharge, and back at it today. USA and the BAL Selects kicking it off on day 3. Paul Jones alongside Joe Razzo, and this is something that we have been waiting for a long time, to work together. And who'd have known, a couple of kids from the 80s that were basketball nuts we're having a Freedom 65 moment here. But Joe,
I got no volume.
Listen, this team from Louisville, you were looking down and we were talking about it, they are filled with transfers, and you know as a coach the key is trying to get everything together.
I have no volume.
6 transfers on this Louisville squad, as Coach Jeff Walz does his best to try and put them together and make them a cohesive unit. They have had 5 straight appearances in the NCAA Tournament's Elite 8, and with all the transfers, trying to meld it together, he is hoping to get another run and another chance, maybe go a little bit deeper if Lady Luck shines on him and his Cardinals deeper into the tournament. The BAL Selects, on the other hand, a rather eclectic group, as they come from all different parts of the continent, coached by Australian Liz Mills. We get a look at both teams getting set and warming up, getting ready to go on this Saturday morning in Toronto. The BAL Selects, again, from all over, and a lot of them getting their basketball training and their basketball fix from places in the U.S., and you will hear of a lot of Canadians playing for the BAL Select team. About 3 minutes from tip as the teams go through their final preparations, warming up and ready to go. The medal games will take place tomorrow, and this one going a long way to determine who will play for the gold. Louisville right now sitting at 1-1 after defeating Puerto Rico and losing a very close contest to the Canadian squad in front of a packed house. And they're looking to come in here this morning, come in here today, and get a win and propel themselves into the gold medal game. Paul Jones alongside Joe Razzo. And Joe, we talked about the number of transfers on the team from Louisville and how important it would be to try and put them together very quickly. It's a tough job. You know that as a coach.
Yeah, but they're experienced transfers with lots of games under their belt. It's not like you're bringing freshmen. You're bringing everybody here is acclaimed. They're either MVPs of their conference or they're most valuable players of their teams. So they've got an acclaimed group, and it's an experienced group. So this will help them tremendously. This is a perfect trip for them.
Well, the NCAA rules give them a chance to get a trip that they want. As they come to Canada, they'll get a chance to practice 10 times. They'll have these 3 games. And Joel, more than anything else, we know how team bonding works.
Yeah, there's no question. You are forming, storming, and norming. Those are the 3 terms that they use, and this is a norming situation. You're forming your team, you're getting a chance to play, and this will put them ahead come the season. They'll be ready to go, and this trip will have a lot to do with it.
Well, Joe, I can tell you, and we talk about it, you talked about the first 3, forming, storming, and norming. The last one is performing, and we'll see. I'm going to keep my eye on this Louisville squad over the course of the year, because I think they have the potential to be really, really solid.
So when you get to 5 straight Elite 8s, you're used to being solid.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an incredible record. Only team in the country that has 5 straight Elite 8 trips.
17 years for head coach Jeff Walz with a 441 and 126 record. Man wins 75% of the time. That's pretty good.
16 20-win seasons, or 15 20-win seasons in the 16 years he's coached. So they can recruit, they can reload, but they can play.
Talking to one of his transfers, Kiki Jefferson, a two-time Sun Belt Player of the Year in that conference. And Joe, they have come together. You know, I look at it in a way. It's kind of like we've coached basketball camps. Those kids get better as the week goes on, and I'm seeing the same thing with both of these squads here today.
So their transfer averaged almost 30 minutes a game.
We tip it up, ball goes out of bounds, and the BAL selects will get the first touch. Your referees, Jason Steele from Montreal, Cooper Toppings from Alberta, and Rebecca Duala from Puerto Rico. This is Sauda Najinayigize, number 10, and not a great start. Joe, the live ball turnovers are something that we're going to keep an eye on today.
Yeah.
Particularly the way Louisville likes to pressure.
And it's going to be pressure on the ball. That's where the defense is going to start.
Inside to Nyla Harris. She starts it off, and Louisville picks up full court. You can hear Coach Walz maybe in our courtside mic yelling, "Pick him up." Second touch for the BAL selects. This is Asha Dia, number 2. And she is fouled by Sydney Taylor. Sydney Taylor has one of the great shooting strokes in college basketball.
Yeah, you said it was a great player at UMass. But for the BAL, the key for them is to keep the ball moving.
Well, they turn it over there, and here comes Olivia Cochran. Olivia does a lot of her work down low. Terrific inside player for the Cardinals.
Knocked down a 3 the other day. She's showing that her game's improved.
Harris, top of the lane. This is Jada Curry, a transfer from Cal State Bakersfield. 3 in the air from Jefferson, no good, but coach likes the effort and the ball movement. Here comes the BAL.
And Hussein's the best rebounder for the BAL, and so she's got her work cut out for her. She's going to have to have a tough job inside with these players.
This is Nachinayi Gize. Gets it to Jane Asinde, number 14, and they turn it over. A live ball turnover going to hurt them here, Joe. Oh, as Cochran misses the layup. And then the ball out of bounds. Asinde couldn't hold on to it and get her footing. Yeah. And it's turned over. And that was Dia, that couldn't get her footing. And it's turned over, and it will go to Louisville. Curry to trigger the inbound. Jefferson down low. Harris kicks it to the corner. Swing. Taylor, 3 in the air, no good. Long rebound. And here come the BAL selects.
BAL goes into a 2-3 zone. They're out of bounds, mixing it up early.
Giacchite took down the rebound. As the BAL selects bring it front court. Nachinayi Gize gets it to Dia. Asha Dia, step back jumper under duress, no good. Louisville comes away and they're on the run. This is Curry, stops in the corner. Elbow jumper, no good from Harris. Still 2-0 Louisville.
And the BAL hasn't had a shot yet.
Well, they've survived, Joe, considering they've turned the ball over and given up possessions. Nachinayi Gize inside. This is Yara Hussein. Off balance shot, no good. Here comes Louisville. Classic 3-on-2, ball in the middle. They get it to Harris, lays it up, no good. Asinde with the quick push. Hussein drives and is fouled. And with 7:13 to go in a 2-0 Louisville lead, Joe, this could be a lot worse for the BAL team.
Yeah, BAL's holding their own. They're getting on their rebounding. They're finishing off the defense with the rebounds, and that's probably the key. But the hard part for them is they're not used to the ball pressure. And so therefore they have some issues.
Joe, let's take a look at the keys for this team from the BAL, how they stay in this game and how they stay close and try and pull off a win.
So the first thing they've got to do is just keep their big picture in mind and get better. Just stay better, get better. And they've got to keep that as their main goal. Control the unforced turnovers. And these are not just your regular dead ball turnovers. These are your live ball turnovers where you throw the balls out of bounds. And then transition D. They can't go messing around with offensive boards. They got to go back and build.
They get on the scoreboard with one free throw from Hussein, and it's 2-1 USA. Again, Joe, there it is, a live ball turnover, and we're on a run out for Louisville. Curry, stutter dribble into the lane, great pass, up and in. That is Harris. And Coach Liz Mills, the Australian coaching the BAL selects, wants a timeout. Joe, what has she seen that she probably didn't like?
Well, it's not the score. You know, it's
right.
all about the turnovers, the offense. And I think what's happening is they're not identifying the play. So here's a straight pass inside that you said 2-on-1. Louisville moves the ball down the court quickly, and they run with 5. That's the key part of this.
Joe, the keys for Louisville. You just showed us what the BAL has to do. What do the Cards have to do?
Mental focus for 40. They got to make this a long game, not a short game. They scrimmaged with the BAL and dominated them, so they've got to keep that focus. Dominate the game physically and athletically. They've got to show that they're the better team out there, both on both ends of that floor. And then ball movement. Keep the ball moving, get away from the ISO play, move the basketball, and attack immediately.
Well, it's all about playing together, Joe, and it's something that we always talk about. One-on-one ball, hero ball doesn't win, and as you said, Louisville playing together, and it's a challenge. I talked to Coach Liz Mills from the BAL, and she said she would love to have more prep time because she has all these kids from all these different places, and it's like a jigsaw puzzle, Joe.
It really is. Like, you think she's dealing with a whole continent, and in this case, 5 of these kids are Canadians. So not only are you dealing with the continent of Africa, you're dealing outside the continent. So the development of these players and bringing them together is a project all the time. But she is a pretty outstanding coach in her own
She's
time.
accomplished, yeah, Joe. She really, really is. We'll list some of her accolades, but she sends her team out right now, trailing 4-1. And Joe, a telltale sign already, 4 turnovers for the BAL select team.
And now the USA is going to come with full court pressure. And the key thing here for the BAL is to attack this pressure. Not just beat it, but to attack it.
Well, they run it down at the back end. Jada Curry comes away with the steal, but she's called for the foul. And Joe, you know, we saw full court pressure. People need to understand, you get as many steals at the back end of the press as you do at the front from the pressure and the chase down and all those things.
And it's the wearing down.
Yeah.
The clock's in your advantage. That 24-second clock runs down. You're forcing the other team to play with a shorter clock.
The inbound pass stolen by Curry. Here comes Louisville on the run. Curry kicks to the corner. Jefferson drive, kick. Taylor, good look up top. That's money. Great basketball by the USA. They lead it 7-1.
Great ball movement, way to find players, attack the middle and create from the middle.
And Joe, it came off a live ball turnover. Dia brings it front court for the BAL. They swing it into the lane. Giacate drives, and she's called on an offensive foul as Cochran stands in. I said if I had 5 sizes of Olivia Cochran, I could win.
So ball gets moved. One more pass, easy shot. There's flow in it. You even know the bench is up already before she shoots the basketball.
I'm surprised when Sydney Taylor shoots it and it doesn't go in. One of the top 10 three-point shooters in the NCAA last year at UMass, steps in there and knocks in a 2.
Yeah, nice balanced shooter, showed she can do it off the dribble.
9-1 USA. Dia drives, misses the layup. Cochran with the rebound. On the push, here comes USA. Marissa Russell, 3, no good. Those of you in the know understand Marissa Russell, Canadian, just coming off a bronze medal at the AmeriCup with the senior women's team in Canada.
And she's probably had the least amount of time to join this group here because she missed the practices at Louisville while she was with the Canadian team. So a little bit of pressure here just assimilating with her own teammates.
A little more pressure playing at home too in front of her mom, dad, and a bunch of family and friends. But I got to tell you, she's a terrific kid and a bundle of gold. She is a great teammate. Great pass by Curry inside. Nyla Harris misses the layup.
Yeah, Coach Wall's not real happy. That focus to completion is what's missing right now with Louisville. They're doing absolutely everything they want and dominating.
In the lane, BAL misses Louisville with the rebound. Here comes the Canadian from Ottawa, Russell. Into the lane, kicks it out to Curry. 3 in the air, and like her namesake that wears number 30, Jada Curry knocks it down.
And if you're the BAL, your first job is to protect the basket, so they've got to run back. So that trail 3 is going to be open all day.
Ashadia finds Afantieri. Dribble stopped out top. They swing it to Debula. Divine Debula into the lane. Her shot blocked by Cochran. Russell flattens the defense. Kicks to Curry. Great pass in the lane. Cochran kicks it out. Jumper in the air, gets the roll.
And for me, that started with Cochran because she pushed the ball on the rebound and got some flow going.
That was Elia Love with the deuce. Dia, long 3, no good. Rebound Harris. Coach Walls yelling for Louisville to push. Great pass to Cochran in the middle of the lane. Knocked away. Wanted the foul call, didn't get it. Good basketball there, Joe, in transition by the BAL, getting it inside.
That was their best basketball they've played. Dad did a super job of sealing up inside, and she was 2 passes ahead. Good transition break, good finish, positive result.
Cochran finds Russell. Marissa's elbow jumper short, and it will go out of bounds and stay and go over to the BAL.
Great finish, nice seal inside. Dea with the first big bucket of the game for them.
Joe, you talked about the transition stuff, and we just saw it there from the BAL team. In order to score in transition, they've got to force some turnovers too.
Yeah, and they've got to run out on rebounds. So those are the 2 things that they're going to try to run their transition. So they've got to keep pushing the basketball, taking advantage. But the nice part was Dia showed the fact that she took care of that.
Well, we are at one of the most venerable edifices in Canadian sports history. Used to be old Maple Leaf Gardens, and it was built in 1931. And these are the beloved Toronto Maple Leafs as they played in here, and people still waiting for them to bring Lord Stanley's mug back to Toronto. The last time that happened was '67, and it was in this building, I think 1 floor below us, Joe, as that's where the ice level was, but Toronto Metropolitan University has converted it into a wonderful multi-sport, multi-use facility, and quite frankly, it's just what this area of the country needs, Joe.
What I like about it is it starts from the top down.
Yes.
You come in here and the top still looks like the Gardens.
Missing a few banners, but it sure does. 3:03 to go. That's what's left first quarter. 4 10-minute quarters in FIBA basketball. Unlike the 2 20s of the NCAA men or the 4 12s of the NBA. BAL inbound, and Louisville with a little token pressure. Nachanai Gize brings it front court. Gets it to Elfentiari. Inside, Dabula working hard. Nice defense by Louisville. They get the miss on the rebound.
And good solid offense by the BAL there. Having a plan, putting it inside, getting a good shot. Oh!
And they got an offensive foul as Love lowers her shoulder. Yeah, a little bully ball, Joe, a little bit too much though.
No question. Good ball movement. The skip created the closeout. Love takes it, doesn't need it, but throws the dip in there with the shoulder.
So turn it over and give it to BAL. They come into the front court trying to go to work on an 11-point deficit. Nachanai Gize with the ball. She drives, the layup no good. Rebound. They fight for it. It's going to be a jump between Rickards, Nina Rickards, a transfer, and the held ball on the jump ball situation will go to Louisville.
With the last two possessions by the BAL, they've accomplished something. They looked for the post up the last time, and here they look for the straight line drive.
Rickards baseline. Swing. Van Schaik, three up top, no good. Got a good look.
That's the 11th rebound for the BAL. So they're cleaning up the boards. They haven't given up an offensive board yet. That's a positive.
Dia inside, Dabula saves it. They're swarmed though, and Louisville takes it away. Russell, great pass to Love. Underneath, Van Schaik lays it in. Great basketball from Louisville.
Your transition basketball, if you hit the person ahead of you that's open, only good things will happen. Van Schaik runs down the floor and gets rewarded for that.
Van Schaik, a transfer from UC Bakersfield. And here comes Louisville again with another turnover. Van Schaik with a crushing pick on Dia. Inside, Mobley's turnaround no good. Van Schaik with the rebound, but they're gonna call her on the offensive foul, fighting for the glass.
Yeah, a little demonstrative, didn't need it, had the position inside. So a good fast break starts with you when you advance the ball to the person ahead of you. You let them attack it, then on a 2-on-1, you go for the score and then you pass off. This is just good fundamental basketball, and right now, Louisville's at their best when they're running full court transition.
Well, Louisville over the limit right now in team fouls, so we're gonna walk to the other end. And Aisha Dia will go to the line for 2 free throws. She was the Rookie of the Year, Joe. You talked about all the different countries. She's a Canadian. Rookie of the Year at Dawson College in 2019 and played in the BioSteel game just down the road here at the Goldring Center at the University of Toronto.
And then had a very good year in Penn State, and now is at the University of Cincinnati. So we all know that Quebec basketball is getting solid,
yes,
getting better and better.
Unfortunately for BAL, she misses 2. Comes Rickards, kick, 3 in the air, no good. Good ball movement. Love misses that 3, but she gets back and makes the steal, and we're calling a technical foul.
So the push out is to the wrong person, and this looks like a dive. So what we've got here is, it looked like it was called a flop there.
The flop rule,
yeah.
Right.
It's a great rule, well needed at every level.
Well, the NBA's just instituted it, and they don't stop at the NBA right away. They're going to sometimes review it and look at it, but I just think the referees are being baited into calling fouls when they're not truly fouls.
Yeah, and the idea of embellishment just makes it tougher to officiate, tougher to watch. You're seeing every three-point shooter seems to fall, look like Bambi, the Bambi threes.
Louisville misses the technical, but they do retain possession. First quarter winding down. Henny Van Schaik into the lane, looking aggressive, missing the layup. Louisville with the offensive rebound. Van Schaik tries the 3 and knocks it down.
Great take by Van Schaik, and it's kind of funny how the ball finds you.
That's a different player from 2 days ago. She looks much more comfortable and aggressive in this Louisville Cardinals system. Inside, Asinde is fouled, had the mismatch on Nina Rickards.
What I'm finding with the BAL team, early in the game, they had a hard time identifying what open was.
Yeah.
And they were holding on to it a little bit longer. Now, as they've just built a little bit more comfortable, getting used to the pressure on the ball, they're now starting to hit the person that's open inside. So the player inside that's open is now getting their touches.
And this is what they have to do, Joe. Take advantage of it, make free throws. They got into the penalty. And the line is your friend if you're aggressive in the penalty.
I think the turnovers early in the game, a little bit of shell shock with the athleticism and the full size of Louisville.
Asinde misses the free throw. They get the rebound but turn it over. Rickards peeling back. First quarter winding down. Rickards turns it over. And this one ends with 3 players strewn across the floor, but a 19-4 lead for Louisville after a quarter.
And one of the hardest things in a game like this, in a tournament in this format, is your time and score situations.
Yeah.
You don't get a chance to work on that. And the fact that Louisville was trying to get the last shot off was the important piece there.
So 1 quarter in the books. 1 quarter in the books. Louisville leading it 19-4. Joe, what stands out from this first quarter?
Well, I think Louisville's doing everything but finishing. They're pushing the ball. They just haven't, the concentration to completion isn't there yet, but they are moving the basketball. What they aren't doing is they're not giving up easy baskets. They're keeping their focus on defense.
On the other side, the BAL, you talked about it, a little bit taken by the athleticism and aggressiveness of Louisville, but they seem to get their bearings, as you mentioned, later in the quarter.
Yeah, you know, ball pressure will do that to you, and the fact is that they can't practice against the ball pressure that Louisville's going to bring. So therefore, it's a little tougher. But what they started doing was they started identifying what open was. I kind of felt that they were holding on to the ball too long. They need ball movement. If you go straight up one-on-one, Louisville's going to dominate you just because of physical size. But if you can move the basketball and create some closeouts, then you've got an opportunity.
Well, Coach Jeff Walz, and we've talked about him, does a tremendous job at the University of Louisville. 17 years, 77% winning clip, 5 Elite Eights. And Joe, we know it's just a matter of luck sometimes, of the draw, to get yourself to the Final Four and the Last Dance.
So he's got the 2 finals. He's got to the Last Dance twice.
Yeah.
Had some huge upsets along the way when they did it. And all of a sudden has built a culture in Louisville. They draw in the top 10 in the country in a 22,000 seat arena. It's a great program right now. And when you lose the characters and the quality of people they've reloaded to a level that is extraordinary.
Well, his 6 consecutive Sweet 16s are the hallmark of consistency, the 3rd longest streak in the country.
What I like is that he's got recruits in that were the player at the institution they were at, and now got them to buy into trying to win a championship.
Well, it's about sacrifice if you're going to win. Jane Asinde, turnaround jumper in the lane, good, tough move by the UTEP minor, transfer from Wichita State.
Nice athletic move, confident shot.
This is Russell, Marissa Russell from Ottawa, Ontario. Louisville turns it over. On the drive, Giacotti.
3 best series right now for BAL, but the ball goes inside. And Asinde does a super job of getting to the middle, getting herself balanced, confident, her head's on the rim. That's a nice, confident shot inside.
Joe, that looked like something that had been drilled quite assiduously in the offseason.
She's like anytime you get to the paint and you're used to it, good things will happen.
Yeah.
You've got to go there to score first, and if you go there to score, it opens up the whole world to you.
Well, it's my former coach Doug Hayes at the University of Western Ontario used to say there are two good plays in this world, Jones. A streetcar named Desire and take it to the basket. I said, Coach, I've only seen one of those. BAL trying to creep back into it. They've cut the lead to 11. And now pressuring Louisville. Unfortunately, they take the foul. Joel, talk to me about a comeback. You get down early and you're fighting uphill, but they seem to have the right approach. Chip away, chip away, chip away.
But their whole focus of getting better. Like they've gotten better from the beginning of this game till now. They've gotten better from the first opening tip-off till now, like the opening tip of this tournament.
Van Schaik inside, great move, and a great post-entry pass from Russell. That's a lost start in this game, Joe.
Not only is it a great post pass inside, but Van Schaik went to the right side. The player's going to pass it to you and give you an advantage to the side you're going to go to. Van Schaik just read the pass and stayed with it.
Sounds like what you learn at Joe Razzo basketball camp. Pass away from the defense. Pass away from the defense.
And then when you catch it, understand that they just passed away from the defense.
That's right. Louisville front court with a 21-8 lead. Van Schaik, another three in the air. Man, she looks comfortable.
Yeah.
Henny Van Schaik knocks down a triple. Louisville builds the lead to 16.
Transfer from Cal State Bakersfield does look comfortable. The pace is right to her setting. She's showing you that she can score inside and out.
Joe saw her in the first game against Puerto Rico, and she was all out of sorts. Louisville gets a steal here. Mobley can't handle it. Kicks it out to Russell. Van Schaik, why not? Heat check. This one out of bounds. And Coach Walls says you got to make that pass, but as you can see here, Joe, hey, if I can knock him down, I don't need to pass.
Yeah, but what Coach Walls knows is you got to play good basketball. She was ready on that shot here. She takes it, she's set, she's prepared to shoot it. On her next attempt, she had to get ready. So therefore, the pass inside. If you're not ready to shoot it, then you're ready to pass.
Aisha Dia brings it front court for BAL. Louisville calling out the play. They know what's coming, looking for the pin down. Up top, Nachina Igize swings it to Giacate. On the drive, no good, rebound. And the foul, Yara Hussein picking up the loose change, and she's going to get the benefit of the foul.
Best half-court set the BAL has run. They started on one side, they swung the basketball, they created the ISO, and they finished it off with an offensive rebound.
And Joe, to your point, there's nothing wrong with ISO basketball when you get it at the right time.
Absolutely, and you don't want to go from the top ISO when nobody's moving. If you can get some movement and some swing on the basketball and get a closeout, then ISO basketball is great.
One free throw made, but the BAL, as they have been doing, coming down with the rebounds. Asinde into the lane, takes the contact, and is fouled, and the BAL going to go back to the free throw line.
Asinde's got great balance on her penetration. She's real comfortable getting to the key and has got nice lift on the jump shot.
She played in the 3-on-3 portion for her national side in Uganda and was an all-conference player at Wichita State before transferring.
I got to tell you, 3x3 to me is great development because there's no place to hide.
Yeah.
You've got to bring your offensive game. It makes you a better offensive player. The idea of doing both, it really helps your offensive side, I think, on the 3x3.
Asinde knocks down two. BAL cuts the lead to 24-11. Louisville trying to push, and Jefferson looking for Harris. Joe, that's a tough pass in the same lane, straight line.
Yeah, a little ambitious, I think. You know, you're going down the middle, making it a tough catch. What you need is somebody on the wing. You need one more pass to the wing and then stick it inside.
Here comes Dia. Asha Dia, as we said, Rookie of the Year at Dawson College in Montreal in 2019. Nachina Igize. Up top, gets it to Asinde. On the drive, great spin move into the lane by Diakate, but she can't finish.
So what the key there was the skip pass.
Yes.
Dia with the skip pass, all of a sudden a little bit of a closeout. It's like playing tag. If the person's running at me, I can get by them. Ball movement is key, especially when you're playing against teams that might dominate you physically.
Drive the closeout. Too bad they couldn't get the finish. Long inbound, Harris all over it. It's a turnover. And Cochran picks up the loose change for Louisville. Curry. Pull-up jumper, no good. Taylor coming in on the weak side for the rebound, can't get it. But her aggressiveness will pay off as Louisville will have the ball after the timeout.
So the score is telling us it's a 13-point game.
But what does your feel tell you, Joe? That's what's more important.
My feel tells me that the BAL's playing really, really solid basketball, and Louisville's struggling a little bit right now. You know, sometimes you come into a game thinking you're supposed to win by a lot, and you just never get your focus or your bearings down.
I'll say this, Joe, even a game that you win by a lot, you're not going to win it by a lot in the first quarter or the first half, right? As you said, it's the constant banging, the grinding. That's what wears the other team down.
Yeah. But if you do start early, then you dominate the whole time.
Right.
And then it becomes, then you got an opportunity to really impose your will on someone. But if you give them a little bit of confidence, the other team, and you make it a shorter game.
So what has happened recently that has taken some of the confidence back?
Yeah, so here's where Louisville's been their best. At full court transition, running with 4 and 5 people, off the live ball turnovers. One of the few times they've got to the offensive rebound, what they do a nice job is they look for shooters. And Van Schaik has just been super in this half of finding the shooters. So here's a nice closeout, you create it, they move to a wing, and Cindy's just been super at getting herself to the middle of the floor, nice balanced shots, and you can just sense the confidence. But this Louisville team just keeps coming at you.
That's a hallmark of Coach Walls, and you know, they say that teams take on the personality of the coach, what the coach demands and expects, and this man demands that they play hard all the time. Taylor on the inbound, no good. Had a good look at a three. And pats her chest saying, that's me, I'm gonna make that next time.
And Louisville does a nice job knowing that the 2-3 zone might be coming. They prepare for it, they run an inbounds play that work against both. Get themselves a nice corner three.
Ball out of bounds, the BAL select team will bring it front court. Nachanai Gize with Sydney Taylor right in her kitchen. Front court. Louisville wanted the time count violation, didn't get it. Nachanai Gize with a long three up top, short, and that will turn it over and give it to Louisville.
Yeah, felt like they had a front court violation there, but it was one of the few times the BAL didn't look to attack the pressure, but just try to beat it and got themselves in trouble.
Kiki Jefferson's shot is blocked. Jada Curry gets it to Harris. This is Taylor on the drive. Inside to Cochran, tough pass in traffic, turn it over.
But you gotta love the doubling down. Jakiti made a super job, and Cochran had no place to go with her legs.
Oh, they get it inside there too. Hussein, who misses an easy one. Good ball movement, no finish.
Yeah, and she's the most accomplished big they have. She's the only player that's playing professionally in Egypt. And Hussein, you could just see her post work before she got the basketball was well taught.
She was the MVP in the African Cup as an under-18 player. And as you said, a member of the Egyptian League championship team this past season.
She's their best post presence.
Louisville, front court. Cochran off the split, gets it to Taylor. Trying to find Cochran, who looked like she aborted the cut, Joe. Taylor was expecting her to continue, and just that slight hesitation led to the turnover.
Yes, and also that you have to give BAL credit because they're packing it in. they're saying you want to beat us by the 3, knock it down. But we're not letting you get short passes inside. So they're doing a super job now, twice defensively. They've collapsed early.
Foul is called on Louisville, number 1.
So Sidney Taylor takes the foul for Louisville.
And the
Fourth team foul. BAL will be shooting the penalty as they did in the first quarter, Joe, and we're only halfway through on the next foul. Joe, what's your philosophy with Louisville's aggressive ball pressure? Is it, do you just say, look, the ref can't call every foul?
I think you got to stay with who you are. Sometimes they're just bad decisions, but you got to be aggressive if that's who you are.
Asinde drives, she's shut down. Back comes Louisville. Jefferson. Handling it out top. Inside to Cochran. Spins, puts it up and in.
Great flash and seal by Cochran. She came from the weak side, she got position, sealed, and she demanded the ball.
Had a chance to sit and chat with her during the game between Canada and Puerto Rico a couple nights ago. What a terrific young lady she is.
I love the fact that with her eyes, she demanded the basketball.
Yes.
I would have hated to be the guard who didn't give her the ball then.
She strips Asinde. Back comes Louisville. Taylor misses the layup. Ball out of bounds. And they've got a foul on Nyla Harris over the back. Here's Cochran, Joe, demanding.
But she seals early. She does her homework. She does her work. She does the early work. Gets it sealed. Gets the ball inside and makes it over the left shoulder, over the right shoulder.
And Joe, let's talk about that for young, big people. When you seal and you get big and you demand the ball with your body, you talked about it and we laugh about it, but it's true. Your facial expression, your eyes, your eyebrows, everything has to say, give me the ball inside, because if you don't, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a healthy reminder.
A healthy reminder. That's what our parents used to give us, right, Joe?
Man, yes. But what she did a nice job of was she got wide, and then she got big at the end.
Nachanai Gize knocks down a couple of free throws, and the BAL has cut this thing to 13. They are just kind of trying to hang around, see if they can cut this thing inside 10 before halftime. Offensive foul, that time Olivia Cochran stands in, and Fatou Diakite called on a charge.
That's a second
So,
personal foul and the second.
Good job inside. Defense holds their ground, makes a good read coming off the player, get the charge. Good, solid defense.
There's some great inside play by Louisville, and Nyla Harris gets the money at the end.
I'm going to say the only thing that's been causing Louisville a lot of trouble is dribbling the basketball. When they push the ball like that, there's very minimal dribbles in their offense, they're tough.
Well, in the last game, Coach Walls, after too much dribbling, said, I'm going to get all the basketballs at halftime and let all of you guys dribble it and check it for air, and then we're going to stop. Long jumper missed there by the BAL, no good. They can't grab the rebound. It'll go to Louisville.
But it's spirited effort by the BAL. So great pass inside, but the nice thing I hope that whole series, there was one dribble in that entire series once the ball crossed half court.
Well, Joe, we come from an era when if you dribbled it more than 3 times, the coach would ask you what's wrong.
Yeah.
The game has changed a little bit.
Well, dribbling's fine if you've got a purpose. It's the dribbles that pause the offense and hurt the flow. Those are the ones that kill you. And unfortunately, we allow it to happen because we're not holding people accountable. If you are using the dribble as a weapon, it's great.
Well, Joe, there have been a number of solid highlights from Louisville in this first half. Full measure for this 15-point lead.
So the outside shot is there, and so Louisville's taking it. If the BAL's going to pack the paint, you got to make sure you got a counter, and the counter's been the outside shot. But if you do your work early and you're aggressive going to the basket and you focus to completion, just like Cochran did there, they're easy buckets. And then on defense, you got to make sure that you're ready to help, and here's good help coming. You take care of the middle, and you're looking to get some turnovers.
Well, you talk about the paint. Louisville, 12 points in the paint. And also doing it a little bit from outside, 4 of 11 they've had some good looks that they haven't knocked down.
But where they've done it on the defensive end, they've created 13 steals. That just hasn't translated to what steals to offense should translate. And that's part of it being early in the season too. I think during the season, if Louisville's got 13 steals, I think there's 20 points minimal with those 13 steals.
First half winding down, Louisville with a 15-point lead. Their biggest lead of the game was 16, and they're looking to eclipse that on this trip. Jada Curry on the bounce, backs it out, gets a screen from Nyla Harris. Curry jumper in the air, no good. Rebound taken down by the BAL. Sauda Nachanaigize gets it inside to Asha Dia. Great footwork on the spin move, and she gets the roll.
Super job. Asha Dia runs the court in transition and does her work before she gets the basketball, and then does her work when she gets the ball.
Jefferson, jab step, three in the air, got it. Carmelo Anthony have been proud of that jab series. Backed the defense off Joe and knocked it out.
And it started with the skip pass.
And no dribble. Harris tried to save it, but it went right into the hands of the wrong color uniform. Offensive foul. Fatu Giakite again running into Olivia Cochran, who stands in there and takes the charge.
So Dia gets the ball inside. Good seal to get the ball. Then she sees the double coming. The double leaves. She steps in, steps through. Looked like a move at the YMCA. An old.
Great footwork. Great footwork there. But Louisville had the answer, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. They come back, Jefferson, with the deep three on the kick out. You get a nice two, we'll get an easy three.
Biggest lead of the game for Louisville at 16 right now. Curry, Cochran, Taylor, Van Schaik, and Love on the floor for the Cards. Love kicks it out. Taylor with the swing. Van Schaik, tough move. The lefty shot no good, but the rebound comes right back to her. And Coach Walls listening to Joe Razzo saying to Henny, don't dribble it. You were wide open.
And what the dribble does is it pauses your flow. If the defense has to move, then you got better chance of getting offensive rebounds.
Louisville gets a steal. Curry to Love. This is Taylor. Jab, three in the air, no good. Long rebound to Curry. Another attempt. Cochran inside, turnaround jumper short. Nachanaigize has the rebound, but they tie her up, and the possession arrow will go to Louisville.
You sense the Louisville team right now is just struggling to make the right decision. They're trying to play perfect basketball, and they're thinking a little bit too much. It's just not natural yet, and that's July basketball.
Curry, corner three, no good. Taylor crashes for the rebound, no good. Van Schaik on the third attempt is going to get free throws. Louisville working the glass like a window cleaner, Joe.
Yeah, and they haven't done that earlier. So they run a nice little set here, or a good shot, and they come from the perimeter and get their hands on the basketball, and they attack the basket. So Van Schaik there attacks it as though there's going to be a miss. She gets herself rewarded. It's the only series so far in the game where multiple offensive rebounds have been had by Louisville.
Free throw no good from Van Schaik. Henny Van Schaik, a transfer from Cal State Bakersfield. Originally from the Netherlands.
On the Netherlands national team.
Well, you don't make a national team unless you can play. 32-15, biggest lead of the game for Louisville. Jana Abdullah into the game for the first time for the BAL. Offensive foul, a little over-aggressive on the screen was Divine Debula.
your first personal foul.
Ball
So
pressure,
Divine,
Joe.
all about the ball pressure. That's where it starts. And then you get caught here on the moving screen. And it opens it up.
Taylor up top. Cochran on the elbow. They run the push series on the split. Curry having all kinds of issues handling it, but Louisville will retain possession.
Between the ball, giving it just seems, it feels like the ball's just full of air with it, and the contact. There's no question the FIBA game is a little bit more physical than the NCAA game, and something some of the players just aren't used to yet.
Van Schaik on the drive, gets it down. That's a strong move by Henny Van Schaik.
And you notice she didn't pause it when she caught it. This time she used the dribble to take her somewhere.
Dia drives, and she's fouled by Van Schaik.
I'm impressed by Dia. She likes to attack the basket.
She gets after it, doesn't she?
Louisville number 3, Henny Van
So
Schaik.
ball comes out, Van Schaik's got it. The dribble now is for purpose. She takes it to the basket, pushes it forward, and creates herself a nice score.
Aisha Dia at the line for BAL.
The dribble that gets you set is the wasted dribble.
Right. And Coach Wall's talking to her about that right now. Asha Dia on the line. First free throw, no good.
I think he's using his best July voice.
As opposed to the March voice. Two missed by Dia, and Cochran can't squeeze the rebound. I'm telling you though, I'm looking forward to watching this Louisville squad develop over the course of a full season.
Yeah, right now you can tell they're thinking, and thinking slows you down sometimes. So they're just trying to make the right, they're thinking to make the right play. When it cuts natural, they're going to be tough.
Love knocks it away, and Taylor is tripped and goes down hard on her left hip, and she was ready to break out.
That was a great tip. Taylor got the read. She was looking for the touchdown on that. Great tip, and just gets tripped up there.
And that was a, football terms, that was a pick six.
So the discussion now, the officials discussed this very quickly to figure out was it to stop transition, because if they dealt it, they thought it was to stop transition, they'd upgrade it to an unsportsmanlike, but they just called it a common.
Well, for her troubles, Sydney Taylor will go to the line. She looks good though, Joe. It's funny how the basketball has healing powers. Nobody's ever heard on offense.
That was Sydney Taylor.
Rebound to Louisville. Curry, jumper, no good. Love runs down the rebound. Curry gets it to Love, and they turn it over.
And there was contact on that penetration.
What's your line, Joe? You got to play through it. Not always going to get that call to bail you out. Inside, Debula misses. 5 seconds to go. Taylor runs it front court. Curry at the buzzer, no good. But all in all, a good half for the Louisville Cardinals. They lead by 20 at recess, 35-15.
And the BAL, even though they've got 15 points, they've gotten better. I don't think this is a game I want to measure by points. I think I want to measure this game by effort if I'm the BAL, because I got to build on something right now.
Yes, and they looked much better today than they did in that scrimmage with Team Louisville about 3 days ago. So let's take a timeout. Third quarter on the other side, 35-15 Louisville. Day 3 Global Jam opening game. Second half about to get underway with the University of Louisville leading the BAL select team from Africa. 35-15, and some telling numbers. Joe Razzo, Paul Jones alongside Joe Razzo. Some telling numbers as I look at them and have some red circles on my sheet here. 22 turnovers by the BAL team, and that has just been to their detriment. Louisville has 24 points off those 22 turnovers.
Yeah, and that's because Louisville hasn't succeeded in scoring off that. The other one that jumps at me is Louisville with 10 turnovers against a BAL team that doesn't bring a whole lot of pressure. So that number is almost as big. I'm sure that one was discussed in the locker room too.
So the 20-point lead is the largest lead of the game for Louisville, and Joe, as you always say as a coach, it doesn't matter what the scoreboard says, treat it as 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially in a tournament like this, you've got to get better. Everybody's talking about, BAL's talking about getting better from the start of the game. I think with Louisville, it's going to be, okay, now we need to play better basketball, a little bit more focused basketball. We need to finish the easy stuff that we haven't been finishing.
Well, let's see what the second half brings.
I think both teams got to be pretty happy with the defense they've been playing.
Yeah, the shooting percentages aren't out of whack. Let's see if that continues in the second half. BAL with the ball to start the half. Dia. They get it inside. Asinde. The jumper under duress, no good. Rebound fought for, out of bounds. It will go to Louisville.
And definitely fought for. You've got to put a body on it. The BAL's doing a real good job of challenging the offensive boards.
Nina Rickards brings it front court. Sydney Taylor, Ilya Love, Canadian Marissa Russell also on the floor for Louisville, along with Olivia Cochran. Taylor to Cochran. Elbow series. They find Taylor. Great offense. Taylor had a good look, couldn't get it down. Rickards misses the follow-up.
Yeah, real good offense. They talked about coming out first play of the second half, moving the basketball, minimal amount of dribbles. They do a nice job, get the offensive board, just don't finish.
BAL will bring it front court. Nachina Igize, Sauda. Gets it to Jane Asinde. Louisville with the trap. Asinde with the footwork gets out of it. Deflection right into the arms of Hussein, who can't get it down. But there's a foul, and Joe, you know, coaches love those deflections because all of a sudden a 50-50 ball you got a chance for.
Yeah,
you got to come up with those.
You got to count deflections, and that's a great defensive stat. But on that, Giacchini does a super job of crashing the boards. Last two series, the BAL's done a nice job of getting to the boards and just trying to get their hands on it.
Well, so what they say, right? If you can't catch it, at least keep it alive. Maybe somebody else will.
Absolutely, and what you're doing on the other part of that is you're creating fouls. That was their best offense in the first half, was the free throw line.
Well, they were 9 of 16, and had they been a little better, the game might have been closer. Russell, Rickards, elbow jumper, had a good look, couldn't get it down.
And Russell's first look was to reverse, and the post, Cochran was wide open in the post.
Coach Walls saying the same thing here, just to our left. Look at the post. Deep three, no good. Rebound on the ground. Love fights for it and just wraps it up. Held ball will go to Louisville.
3 possessions, 3 times they've got their hands on the ball, the BAL, on second chance opportunities. Giacchini's done a super job of attacking the basketball off of misses.
Russell inside to Cochran. Great position, and she's fouled. That time the ball went into the post and they will be rewarded.
Same two players involved this time as in last time. But again, the focus was put it inside. Cochran had reminded her that, listen, I've got that seal, I need the ball.
Olivia Cochran at the line for Louisville.
Olivia Cochran, 6'3", senior from Columbus, Georgia. Same hometown that gave the Toronto Raptors and the NBA Sam Mitchell.
Well, Olivia Cochran finished last season really well.
Yeah.
Had a great tournament, and you could just see that confidence came back to this camp, and they're looking at her as being the most dominant post player on the team.
Well, had her career highs in that Elite Eight game that they lost to the University of Iowa. Gia gets it over center. Rickards right in her kitchen. Now Taylor switches on to her.
So the best defensive series all game for Louisville is 4 seconds on the shot clock, and the BAL still hasn't got the ball inside the three-point line.
Let's see if Louisville can finish this defensive sequence. The ball pressure continues, and they get a steal. Marissa Russell front court. Her pass picked off, and it looked like Giacchite was very close to that sideline.
Yeah,
but she was reading the mail, Joe, in the passing lane.
So Giacchite does a super job of shooting the gap here on this. She knocks it forward, she takes it left-handed, goes down, looks to score, and that's why she gets fouled. A great attack by Giacchite, but a really good job of shooting the gap and getting the ball off a reversal.
Oh, those wing-to-top passes. They are the ones that give coaches gray hair.
And the ones on defense that you gamble, it's hard to get backdoor cut from the top.
Right.
So therefore, there's more people are willing to gamble there than they are on the wing.
Joe, you're so right. No offensive player coming out towards center thinks of, well, maybe I should go backdoor, because you're so far out, you just don't think there's going to be that kind of resistance.
And if you do go backdoor, there's a wall of defense sitting there on the help side.
Asinde takes the foul there, trying to get a charge. BAL has cut the lead to 19. It was 20 at half. Louisville looked to tack a little bit more on. Sydney Taylor. Olivia Cochran on the elbow. Gets it to Taylor. You go under the screen, she shoots the three and misses, but not a good proposition on a three-point shooter.
Yeah, and but I like Coach Mills' philosophy today. Like, I understand she said she's going to protect the paint.
Right.
She's going to give up the threes, but they're going to protect the paint and protect those backdoor cuts.
Louisville jumps out. Love on the screen across the top, and she's called on the foul.
It's the fouls that have been giving Louisville trouble on the defensive end.
But Joe, and I guess the question for a coach is, of your three tenets of defense, ball pressure, one pass away, help side, ball pressure is the most important, but how do you apply it in a judicious way without creating fouls?
So your defense starts with ball pressure, but it's not good ball pressure if you're going to foul them.
Right.
So you've got to put pressure on the basketball, knowing who you've got. If you can dominate the person physically, then you get up real tight. If you can't foul, you can't give up easy passes either.
Taylor to Russell. Marissa on the drive, lays it up and in.
Marissa Russell on the drive, but Cochran set a screen in there. She looked like Moses, just separating the sea on that for her.
Hey, listen, Cochran's dad was an NFL player, so I'm not messing with her at all.
No,
Russell knocks it out of bounds there.
But that's, the lane opened up. The lane open, watch Russell. Her eyes open up, but it's Cochran inside who's setting the seal, opening it up for her. She's got to give her a thank you on the way back.
Well, the two of them were hanging out the other night when Canada was playing Puerto Rico. Just watching and building chemistry. You know, Joe, we talk about chemistry on the court, but the stuff you do with people as a teammate off the court, the dinners, the family stuff, that goes a long way between the lines, too.
Talking to a couple of the Louisville players, his coaching staff, and a team dinner, and a great team dinner last night, gets them bonded, and then you hear people go to the baseball game, go to the Alicia Keys concert. It's like they're enjoying themselves in Toronto, but they're having a great time, and their focus is basketball.
Right, right. Now, get a look at Coach Jeff Walls.
But you know, teams are allowed these foreign tours. For Coach Walls and this team, this is better than a foreign tour. They're not here to be tourists. They're here to play basketball and get better. The fact that they've got these other things that they can enjoy is great, but their focus right now is trying to put a team together. They want a good start come October. They want to be ready to go, and these games here will put them in that situation. Can I get one?
Well, let's see what happens for the final 6.5 minutes of this third quarter. Louisville, a storied program. Again, they lost in the Elite Eight to Iowa, but the only program in the country to advance to the Elite Eight the last 5 years. And they get the steal here.
They come out with a 2-3 zone after that timeout. Ball pressure.
And they're going to call Russell on a double dribble, saying that when she picked the ball up, she used a controlled dribble. So that will turn it over and give it back to BAL.
And Louisville back to the 2-3 zone.
Asinde inside. Cochran bodies up on her. The long jumper, no good. Rickards with the rebound. Taylor steps into a three and knocks it down. That's what she does. Sydney Taylor, 104 three-pointers made, 7th in the NCAA last year.
And she did a great job of being visible. She moved herself up on the wing so that she could catch and shoot it.
Asha Dia drives on Russell, cuts her off. Dia throws it away. Nice job by Marissa Russell.
So you run in transition. If you want to be a good transition team, players have to get open for you. Taylor steps up, gets herself steps in, easy three. Knowing who's who on your team is so important. And this whole trip, it's the roles that will be created for Louisville that will take them further into the NCAA tournament this year.
42-18 is their lead right now. Wow, nice job there. Beautiful push series, the elbow series, Joe, the splits, the cuts, and it results in a foul.
Yeah, and Rickards did a nice job there. She got the ball, she attacked the grain on it. Cochran's showing they can play through her.
I like the kid's effort. She just plays hard all the time. And that time Taylor takes the inbounds, and it's like the big leagues, Joe. We see players put that foot back, the negative step on the line and turn it over.
Yeah, it's a turnover that is happening way too much.
Just got to be aware of where you are on the court. Asha Dia's shot no good. Rebound on the ground for it, knocked out of bounds, and it'll stay with the BAL.
You gotta love the fact that the BAL is having a hard time scoring in the half court, but they keep giving themselves opportunities by keeping balls alive.
Debula, number 6, really fighting for that ball. Nice job by Russell to deflect the inbound.
BAL ball.
Shot clock winding down. Louisville comes away with the turnover. Saved, Sydney Taylor, great pass to Russell who lays it in.
And that started on great defense. Ball pressure, even though Rickards was the smallest player on the floor with the front, it was a great situation to start the fast break and a nice save to keep it alive.
Well, some learning taking place there in the first half. Coach Walls talked to her about disengaging how to front the post, and she did it there. Here comes Louisville looking for more. Taylor, pull up three, no good. Russell crashing for the glass, can't get it out of bounds. It'll go to BAL.
I love how a shooter can slow themselves up for that next step. Eh? They just knew right from as soon as she caught the ball, she knew, okay, next dribble, I'm just going to slow myself down and get into my range.
Timeout on the floor, and Joe, let's talk about fast break basketball.
It starts when you can create turnovers, then all of a sudden you have the advantage in numbers. A great pass, a tough pass, and a great save, and then you just keep the ball moving. Be visible, keep running. Fast breaks include 5-on-4s, and people think it's only like 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, but a 5-on-4 is a solid fast break, and that's what happened there. The other players from Louisville got down the floor.
You've got an advantage, and you've got more people to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and so you've got to make sure that read. Now, the one thing you don't want on that is you don't want to go for the home run and lose the ball. But what you don't want is the turnover, and that was a great save to save Louisville from having a turnover.
So, Joe, earlier you were talking about Coach Mills and her game plan with the BAL, protecting the paint, and we touched on it. She is an accomplished coach. The first woman to coach a senior men's team at FIBA Continental Championship, and that was in 2021. At AfroBasket, she coached the Kenyan team, and she's a decorated head coach.
So she's coaching professionally a men's team in Morocco right now. I think it's been since 2012 she hasn't coached a women's team. And she's the only female head coach in the BAL.
Yeah.
So it tells you, her adopted continent of Africa has been very good to her career, and she's given back to it.
Louisville in the 2-3 zone. Aggressive, high hands. Asha Dia steps on the line. There it is again, just unaware.
When I see a 2-3 zone, the first thing I look for is to find, is there anybody guarding no one? And it tells me that, that's a sign of a bad zone.
Right.
And I watched Louisville, they're engaged, and all 5 of them were ready to pick up people. So,
well, Joe, we know it. Zone is man-to-man in your area, right?
yes, and you can't think you've got the day off and thinking, I'm fortunate there's nobody in my area. You've got to be involved.
Van Schaik back into the game, and Coach Walls telling her to spread the floor, stay wide.
Spacing is such a difficult concept to teach, and it's something you spend all year doing.
Oh, they get Curry. Had a good look, couldn't get it down. Great execution on the inbound play. Jefferson jumper no good. Van Schaik with the rebound kicks it out. The possession continues for Louisville. Harris into the corner. Van Schaik three all over the glass. Louisville doing a job. They're dominating it now. Up and in. The and one attempt for Kiki Jefferson.
So that series makes the film room. 3 offensive rebounds, 3 threes, and you finish with a traditional 3. But the ball kept moving.
Right.
And because the ball moved, the defense moved, offensive rebounds exist because of that. Nobody's stale, nobody's stagnant.
Well, Joe, good effort. Rebounding is a measure of effort. And you could see it on that last sequence. Great pursuit of the basketball. 47-18, a big lead for Louisville. Dia, 3 up top, no good. Follows her rebound and lays it in.
So an engaged zone defense there, where one person took their time and nobody picked up the shooter.
Van Schaik tries to lob it inside to Mobley, and it's knocked away. Louisville still in the zone. Third quarter winding down. Asinde with the footwork steps to the baseline and is fouled, and she'll get a couple of free throws.
Gotta love Asinde, again, getting to the paint. Once she gets to the paint, good things happen. So shot goes up against the zone. Everybody does everything except block out the shooter. And she just runs down Main Street and grabs the rebound.
Back in the day, Joe, they used to tell us, follow your shot. Now everybody's peeling back transition-wise defensively. That time, Dia said, no, I know that one missed, and I know where it's going.
Yeah, and so the key part there, she trusted her teammates to get back. You know, with Louisville going to a zone here, sometimes when you go to a zone, like man-to-man seems to engage players more, but their players seem to really be engaged once they went to the zone out of that timeout.
Louisville moves the ball high-low. Mobley was looking for Harris down low and had it knocked away.
So July basketball, a little predetermined play rather than read and react, causes a turnover.
Asinde drives, has the ball knocked away, it goes out of bounds as Hussein can't handle it.
Yeah, Harris with turnover one and does a nice job on defense there, stepping in, trying to draw the charge.
Louisville moving the ball nicely. That pass, though, knocked away.
Yeah, this high-low series, getting the flash in there. If the post player is 2 passes ahead and prepares for the flash, then it's going to give the flash person a better target.
You're talking about sealing and doing the work early.
Absolutely, but not following the ball, knowing where the ball is going to go and seal to that spot.
Curry on the drive into the lane, kicks it out. 5 on the shot clock. Jefferson. Louisville can't get it off.
Shot clock violation charge for Louisville.
And that's
BAL.
gets the BAL team excited because that means that was their best defensive series. They played for 24 seconds and created a shot clock violation.
Dia. This is Hussein up top. Nachanai Gize. Long 3, no good. Rebound, Van Schaik. Kiki Jefferson inside. Nyla Harris. Van Schaik, strong drive, doesn't get the bucket, but an aggressive take.
So the BAL's done a super job here, playing 24 seconds against a very solid team. It's all started with ball pressure. They forced a tough skip pass, get themselves a shot clock violation. That's one that they'll talk about as a part of their success and development.
Van Schaik knocks down the first free throw. And you are looking for little victories. Like you said, Joe, it's all about improvement over the course of a game, a quarter. Whenever you can highlight it, it's great. It's great for your team.
And this is a program, so there's a lot. You need some successes to build on.
Yes. Louisville still in the zone. Encourages a deep 3 from Giacate, and they get the rebound. Jefferson inside. Harris fouled by Hussein. That ball went into the post that time, Joe.
Yeah, you know, Harris did a great job, but Jefferson, as soon as she touched the ball, she throws it in. She doesn't think, Harris has got it, good seal. Again, doing your work before you get the ball. Whenever a post player runs the middle, runs the court and gets down and takes care of sealing, putting their body on somebody, good things happen.
Harris free throw no good.
Sometimes we forget the game evolved from inside to the outside.
Yes. She's a sophomore from Orlando, Florida.
Played in every game last year as a freshman.
That's
so
something.
You know, they got big plans for her.
Jefferson scoops up the loose change and puts it back in the machine there for Louisville. Long three by Dia is good.
Diaz showing a lot of confidence inside and out.
Again, the ball going inside, a great seal by Mobley. And Jefferson looking for her again.
So right in, ball goes inside, great feel, great seal inside.
Alyssa Mobley on the line. Sports administration major from the state of Ohio. Crossing the border to play in Kentucky.
Maybe that's at Southern Ohio.
Yeah. Louisville in the zone, talking. Curry gets a steal. And the BAL run it down. Maybe last shot time if they're careful with the ball. They swing it to the corner, deep three, no good. Rebound. Dia beating the buzzer, but not getting it down. And Louisville wins the third quarter by 7 and increases the lead to 27 as we turn for the last lap of the track.
And I think that going to the zone not only engaged the players, it kept their focus. I thought it was the key part of the third quarter for Louisville.
Fourth quarter coming up, but let's take a look back at some of the highlights of the third quarter.
So it starts on the rebounding side, second chance opportunities. Nothing better you can give your team than a second chance. And then you get to the free throw line and three situations. If you close out and you put yourself in a situation to rebound, good things happen. And here's a Cindy following her shot, super job.
Louisville did a lot of decent work, Joe, getting the ball inside in this quarter.
Yeah, and that's, again, I said the evolution of the game started inside and it works its way outside. They've got the force inside. They've got a lot of post players, and their team is built to score twos. They can shoot the three okay, but score the twos when they give them to you. Much better job of finishing there.
And Joe, I want to ask you this, and we've talked about this over the evolution of the game the last little while. You need to play defense, but with the advent of the three-point shot and the rule changes, your offense needs to keep you in games. You need to score, and you talk about getting twos. You can't just default to the three.
No, but the three-point line is the most inclusive rule in basketball history, and it forces you to become better defensive teams. But what it has done, it's forced teams to space out. The fact that you can shoot the three gives me more room to score inside with the two.
Yes.
So if you use both to your advantage, they work. Could you imagine the old days when there was nothing but everybody packed inside and you kept throwing it inside? There was no way to space the floor.
No.
Now you have the advantage of that three-point line, and if your scouting report says you're a shooter, now you've got automatic spacing.
Well, you think back in the day, Joe, people, well, why don't you take those twos? Well, because it's worth the same as whatever's in the paint. We'll let you chuck it from out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, but that was the day too where the game was dominated just by size.
Yes. The game has evolved. Louisville will still play the zone to start the quarter. Nachinayigize with the long three, no good. Here comes Curry. On the push, down to the baseline, flattens the defense. They go inside to Mobley. The pass, the double knocks it away. Don't think Jefferson saw the defense there.
And the pass just a little bit late.
Dia three. In transition, BAL before Louisville gets the zone set, Joe.
Second shot from the same spot for Dia. Against that 2-3 zone, she's stepping up, knocking it down.
Jefferson foul line jumper no good. Harris with the rebound. Oh, great pass underneath to Rickards, who lays it in.
Good rebound, good pass.
Diaz feeling it. That one a little bit long.
But a quality shot.
And we've got both number twos engaged, Asha Dia and Nyla Harris, and they will get the foul on Dia.
So Dia taking her game to Cincinnati. I'm sure she'll cross paths with a lot of these players for the Louisville team. You get the ball inside, offensive rebounds, but you don't force it. You find the next player. Short little pass.
Good decision making there by the Cardinals. Rickards has it stolen away and then reaches in and creates the foul.
Yeah, Rickards used one more dribble, had the opportunity to get the rolling post there, but just took one more dribble. These are the things that happen in July that don't happen in November, December, January.
And Joe, there's an example of the referee's judgment saying Rickards' foul was intentional to stop transition.
So the unsportsmanlike, the elevation to unsportsmanlike, it could be to stop transition, right? Or it could be a play not on the ball. So either two of those.
So Asinde was fouled and took the shots. Is that an open play, Joe? Can anybody take those shots?
No, in that case there, she was fouled. She gets the two and the shot, unlike a technical.
So the ball back to the BAL, looking for a 4 or 5 point trip on this foray up court. Dia couldn't get it off. Good defense by Louisville. Jefferson with a great drive and bucket.
Starts with the rebound. 3 players ahead of Jefferson space the floor. BAL's got to go get them, and Jefferson just goes down the middle.
Inside. DeBula is fouled.
DeBula used her body. Starts with the rebound. Starts with the rebound. Everybody runs, tries to get visible. Because they've spaced out now, the middle's open. Jefferson takes it to the basket. That's a good 5-man break.
Yeah, run the floor, everybody run with a purpose, right?
Yeah. It's therefore, then you look back and think, okay, there was no passes, the dribbler scores all the way on that. But it was everybody else doing their job on that play.
Kind of like football, you go deep, we're coming underneath. You're not getting the ball, but run deep.
Clear out the zone.
What do you mean, I'm running deep and I'm not getting the ball? No, you run deep.
Again?
Rickards from the Bronx gets it to Curry in the lane, the floater up and in. Great job by Jada Curry.
Yeah, that dribble weave created just enough flow that Curry could take advantage of it.
BAL working against man-to-man now. The ball knocked out of bounds and it'll go to Louisville.
Good dribble weave, create the advantage. As soon as you force a communication switch, advantage is yours. Good drive.
I like the fact that Curry in the lane, Joe, went glass. It wasn't going to be short and die on the front rim.
And it wasn't the floater. It was a shot.
It was a shot. Joe, and look, it's philosophical, but I'll tell you, the floater is a very difficult shot. I would rather see somebody jump stop and take your shot. That floater is really, really tough. It's made to look easy by some people, but it's not that easy.
And it's a great shot against the footer who's coming at you. But if the footer's not there, then pull up and hit the jump shot.
Right. 58-32, Louisville in the lead. We're about halfway through the fourth quarter, and it has been all Cardinals, Joe.
And they're starting to impose their will in transition. And then on defense, you can see them a little bit engaged, but Asinde's knocked down a couple threes for the BAL and have kept them in the game. Here's the interior passing. Second chance opportunities become visible. You'll get rewarded. And then the great takes.
Yeah, the fast break points. Not an advantage for Louisville, but they are pushing the ball when they can, Joe, to beat the defense, a set defense down the floor.
And I think Louisville's strength this season, if you look at this team, because of they've got so much parity on their bench, is that they're going to be a good secondary break team. They'll space the floor and they'll score in the secondary. They'll get their advantages on 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s. But I look at the roster and I'm thinking, okay, they've got lots of parity and lots of talent. I expect them to be able to move the basketball and score quickly in the offense.
24, you talk about the bench, Joe, 24 of the team's 58 points right now coming from people off the bench. And that's good. I mean, you could be a bench player but end up with starter minutes at times.
I love coach's philosophy of only bringing 10 players up. The great thing about coaching when you only have 10 than 12, you only have to keep 10 people happy.
Yes, yes.
You know, nothing worse in a locker room than number 13, 14, and 15 that driving your team crazy sometimes. Or you having to keep them happy.
Rickards in the lane.
Rickards had picked it up this second half. She
Yeah,
started
she
to find
has.
a little bit of confidence.
Transfer from the University of Florida, a grad transfer out of the Bronx, and a school that has produced some pretty good names.
Yeah, I think when you start getting, it's where they get their transfers from that surprised me, and I find it great. So watch, they get an opportunity here. Good screen that sets us off. Rickards gets middle, easy pull-up jump shot. That's what we talked about earlier. No floater. She went to the middle to score, and if the score's not there, then she become a passer.
Dia inside, fouled by Curry. Nice execution on that sideline out of bounds by the BAL. I talked about Rickards, who is out of the Bronx. Christ the King High School gave us people like Lamar Odom, Sue Bird, Shamika Holsclaw, Tina Charles.
Is that the line for
lot of players coming out of there.
Pretty big wall of fame.
Yeah. I believe that was Kenny Anderson too, Christ the King. Here comes the dribble weave. This is what Coach Walls wants. Rickards into the lane. Oh, tries to find Cochran, knocked away. And we've got an injury. Giacchite goes down. I think she got a shoulder to the face as they were fighting for the ball. And she's a tough one, and when she goes down, you know something's happening.
Yeah, there's no question on that. She took a shot there. But this dribble weave for Louisville, when you've got two small court guards on the floor, point guards working together, an opportunity for them to play together, the weave's a great opportunity to get that because they've got two decision makers.
Where does it become effective, Joe, the weave?
Well, I think because you force the defense to make communications. Every time you do a handoff, you force some communication on defense, and as soon as there's a breakdown, you can take advantage of it. So here's the weave. Again, communication, a little bit of a breakdown right here. You create the closeout, and she looked for the internal pass.
And that's where you could see Giacchite getting hit. She's up now with a towel to her left eye, being helped off the court. But we'll be looking for that dribble weave, Joe. It seems like that's something that Coach Walls wants to stress late in this game. Ball knocked out of bounds.
And now on defense, the two point guards working together. Great communication on that. You could hear the switch happen before the handoff happened.
Louisville was sure they had the ball there. Debula up top. Tries to get it over, and she does. She gets it over to Hussein, who is fouled.
Yeah, that was just a hustle foul on Cochran. Her arm just happened to get tangled up in there, but Louisville played real good defense that series.
Inbound for the BAL on the baseline. Debula wheels into the lane with a hook shot, no good. Rebound to Love. Love, pull-up jumper, short.
I think it got tipped.
So did Jada Curry. She was motioning for the tip, but to no avail. So here comes the BAL. Again, we give credit to this team, this African select team coming from all different countries. A coach that hasn't had a lot of time to put them together, but they're out here playing hard. A Sinde jumper, no good.
Talked to a couple of the players that have Canadian background on them, the ones that are born in Canada. The fact that they get to wear their native colors,
yes,
and play, you know, because their parents were from there, and the pride that they show is tremendous. What a great opportunity to say thanks, and it just kind of explains a little bit of the diversity in this country and the loyalty people have to two countries.
Yeah, I know what that's like. Both of my children, kids have played internationally for Jamaica, and it's a great experience. Fifth foul on Jada Curry, so she's going to sit down. And Canadian Marissa Russell checks in. So this win will put Louisville into the gold medal game, more than likely against Canada, who take on Puerto Rico tonight. Asinde in the lane, floats it up and in. Marissa Russell on the ground for Louisville, fighting for the ball. And they've got a held ball situation. It'll stay with Louisville.
Asinde has done a super job of getting herself into the paint all game long. Tough shot, tough finish, but she's comfortable getting herself into the paint.
Louisville not on the same page there. It is July. Although they're making up for it with hustle as they run down the rebound, but turn it over. Dia, pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound, Russell.
Dia with the nice balanced jump shot. Good defense from the BAL to get into that series.
Taylor, great pass underneath to Jefferson.
Get to the middle, force the defense to rotate towards you. Somebody will get behind it.
And that's something Coach Walls talked about with Sydney Taylor, a superior shooter. But when your shot's not going, what else can you do? Like that, play defense. Can you distribute the ball? How else can you help your team? This is what she does best. Open three, couldn't get it down.
But the super senior transfer is a solid basketball player making the right decisions. More than a shooter.
Asinde on the drive is bodied, cut off by Jefferson.
Asinde's MO every time she touches the ball is to get it inside.
Get both feet in the paint.
She takes a lot of contact and keeps on going.
She's going to be good for the goal tub when it's done.
Yeah. You look at this game, and we look at the score, but that the BAL team has played their best effort, I think, in this third game of the tournament.
Yeah, it's improvement, right, Joe? That's what you talked about.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at some of the action through this fourth quarter, and it's been all Louisville.
But the nice part is the BAL has made them work. There's been nothing easy. This is not just score at will. This, you've got to earn it. So good, solid defense, hard work inside, and the BAL hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but if you give it to them, they're going to take it. And here's one of the players who's done a super job of scoring inside for them.
Yeah, Jane Asinde will play at UTEP next year, transferring from Wichita State, the Ugandan native. And there's a great inside passing, Joe, by Louisville and Kiki Jefferson on the conversion.
And what they did there were they had some of those passes in the first quarter, but the receiver wasn't ready to score. And now as the game's gone on, Louisville's got a little bit more comfortable. This is a big game for Louisville too, because they expect to play Canada in the finals. And they lost to Canada the other day. So the one area that they haven't had a lot of time to work on, talking to Coach Walls, is the defense.
Yeah.
So being able to use some of that zone today, talk a little bit about defense, being better defensively for the entire game.
Well, you're building, right, Joe? You're building towards something, and that something for this Louisville team is what happens next March.
Yep.
What happens through the ACC conference schedule.
And what happens in 2 days or 3 days, just the fact that here we got a chance to measure ourselves against Canada one more time.
Right.
Are we better than we were when we played them the first time?
Taylor kicks it up top. This is Jefferson. Dribble weave series. Rickards into the lane. The pull up short. Rebound Jane Asinde. Ashadia inside. Hussein tries to get it over to Abdullah. And it goes out of bounds to Louisville.
Yeah, Hussein's the biggest post player they have, but not looking to score when she gets it, looking to run the offense through her.
Sydney Taylor, elbow jumper, good.
Yeah, you've been talking about her stroke since the first day you saw her play.
Man, this kid, somebody has taught her how to shoot the basketball. Balance, release, follow through. It's a good looking stroke. Oh, good spin move in the lane by Hussein. Couldn't get the finish. And on the other end, Marissa Russell gets the run out bucket for Louisville.
And what a sensational pass that was by Jefferson. That would look like Josh Allen, a little bit of air under it.
Yeah. Marissa Russell with that basket for Louisville. I almost said Canada. She's coming off the bronze medal at the America Cup with Canada. And when they had the partnership announcement here earlier, great pass by Taylor to Jefferson. When they had the announcement earlier, I said to Marissa, "You're torn." She says, "I know, I'm playing for Louisville against Canada in Canada."
Yeah, I think she's going to enjoy the second time around. I thought, like I said, she was new to the team, fresh off lots of travel. What a nice score that was for Louisville. Run the court still late in the game, and they're still pushing the ball.
Ashadia misses that one. Louisville still playing right to the end. Taylor's three deflected. And the rebound to Nazigize. Inside. Hussein puts it up and in, and she'll get one more for her troubles.
How about this BAL team? Doesn't have the depth, and they just keep fighting with it. So the ball gets cut, push it forward. First man open gets it. Great seal inside. Hussein with the little right-handed scoop shot, and one.
Again, Yara Hussein, part of the Egyptian League Championship team this past season in 2023. Two-time selection to the NBA Academy in Africa. Under a minute to go in the game. Russell inside is fouled.
All about transition. What a great pass. Run the court. That's your first line. You get the straight 1-on-0, you go for it. But if not, you space the floor. And here's a great spacing back to the passer. Don't admire your pass, cut to the basket,
Yep.
and all of a sudden you get rewarded.
Louisville was up 20 at halftime. They're up 31 now, so they've won the second half, but the BAL put up a little bit more of a struggle in this second half, Joe.
And I think both teams played better in the second half.
Yeah.
And then I'm not looking at the score. I think if you're going to look at the results of the film of this cup, you're going to like the second half for both teams.
Oh, Rickards with the steal. Gets it to Russell, who lays it in. It's a big finish for Marissa Russell.
Both teams playing right to the very end on this one.
It's getting a little chippy too between Dia and Taylor, and referee Jason Steele saying, "All right, ladies, let's calm it down here."
And maybe a little tired Dia. She's piled a lot of minutes on that.
Yeah.
That last turnover puts them into a run out. I've been really impressed with the way she's played. I think she's going to have a very good time at the University of Cincinnati. This Dawson College trained player is going to have a great future in front of her.
Misses two. Taylor comes down with the rebound, and that will do it. Louisville gets it over center, and they will dribble out the clock. You'll see Louisville on Sunday in the gold medal game by virtue of this 72-39 win.
Yeah. That was a good, solid win for Louisville. Good development getting ready for Sunday. But I've got to like the effort and the energy and what the BAL played for.
Both teams played hard right to the end, but a little bit too much Louisville as they win it 72-39.
So the highlights today have all been about defense to offense and opportunities. And here is Cinde's taking care of all her opportunities. She scored inside. She was the best inside scorer for the BAL. And for Louisville, it comes in all different sizes and packages. They score inside, they score out, they push the basketball.
Well, it's a quality program, Louisville. We talked about their success. 6 straight Sweet 16s, 5 straight Elite 8s. I mean, they're looking to take one more step this year, and 6 transfers, most of them accomplished players, Joe. This Louisville team's going to be tough once you get into February and March.
Yeah, Paul, I can say all 6 are accomplished. They all have recognitions from the conferences they came from, and they've all been the main player on their teams.
Right.
Like, so now you go down the stretch, and you need a game-winning bucket. You've got 6 players, 7 players to choose from who've been in that situation.
They're all comfortable. They're all comfortable.
Yeah, nothing beats experience, and Louisville's going to rely on experience all season.
Well, Joe, terrific to get a chance to finally work with you in front of people. We've talked about basketball our whole lives, and it was great to work together. Louisville beats the BAL 72-39. Thank you and good afternoon from Toronto.